Over the past 2 weeks, the collapse of Silvergate Bank, Signature Bank, and most notably Silicon Valley Bank has brought turmoil to the financial markets and renewed fears about the health of our banking system. Joining us now is our friend Greg Johnson, CEO of Rubicon Crypto, to help explain what is happening and whether or not crypto is to blame. So Greg, let's start there. What's going on with this for people that aren't up to speed?
Well, there's a lot to cover here, Jeff, and good to be with you. This is a big story, and it's not going anywhere for a while. What we've seen take place over the last week is nothing short of an old-fashioned bank run. We just come out of the holiday season, and many viewers are familiar with the movie It's a Wonderful Life. And one of the big themes from that movie is the bank starts to fail, and everybody's trying to take their money out. But in the old-fashioned days, word of a bank failure and a run of a bank was powered by how fast your horse could get to your neighbors and your carriage, not by telephone. In 2008, when we saw the financial crisis, my goodness, we saw a massive run on banks, unlike anything we had seen before, that was powered by technology. Today, with the failure of Silicon Valley Bank more than anything else, we've seen how social media is literally changing the game in another part of our lives. Jeff, would it surprise you if I told you that in 2008, one of the biggest failures, Washington Mutual Bank, it took 10 days for the run on the bank to occur. In just hours, 4 times that amount of money left Silicon Valley Bank, powered by all of the panic that was used or was fueled by social media. It is an old story with a very new twist.
I thought that after all the enhanced regulation that followed the great financial crisis 15 years ago, that we were not supposed to have bank failures like this. What has happened?
Well, you know, you're not alone. I think a lot of people felt that. The regulation you're referring to is called Dodd-Frank, and it did many very positive things. It insisted on deposit thresholds for all banks. It put very tough standards on the largest, quote unquote, too big to fail banks. But what it also did is it left a loophole in place, not intentionally, but some of the regional banks, the smaller banks that weren't the big 5 or 6 or the top 8 largest banks, they were able to get by with a little bit less supervision. And we're seeing what the impact of that can be, again, with what did not exist back in the time that that legislation came in place. Again, social media. This isn't a bank collapse story. This isn't a run on the bank story. Actually, it's a story about how our lives are once again being redefined by technology, and in this case, social media. I wish to point out also, while we can confirm that crypto may have ruined Christmas, it's to blame for all the supply chain globally. Of course, I'm joking, but it is not actually to blame for these most recent bank failures. Now, if anything, crypto and many startup businesses are going to be the most victimized by these unfortunate collapses. Most notably, Signature Bank, which did have a little bit of its business connected to the crypto industry, but was otherwise viewed as quite healthy and singled out, many would say, by the regulators just because it had a little bit of crypto. There's a lot to this story, and it's going to continue to unfold.
As I always ask you, how do these developments impact our viewers here in Georgia?
Well, I think what we should do is realize that things are fundamentally very different. If you're a customer of a Georgia bank, a local bank, a regional bank, you may have some questions and some concerns. But what I would say is that the fundamental issues that 15 years ago that put the global financial industry at the brink of collapse, they don't exist. The reality is, though, we have to pay attention because of how quickly panic has been spreading. I think the federal government did the only thing it could do a couple of days ago, Jeff, when the president came in and said, you know what, listen, we're not bailing out these companies, we're not bailing out investors, we're not bailing out the executives, but we are going to take care of depositors. So no matter, even if you're here in Georgia, we are connected to the global financial system. I'd also point out in Georgia, as I have very, very often, this is one of the largest industries in our state is in fintech. And by extension, fintech is connected to financial services. And so it matters for the health of this very important industry that we're all connected to.
Greg Johnson, CEO of Rubicon Crypto, as always, thank you very much.
Thank you.